Howdy, Ags from the tailgate, home of Aggie football. Here with C Money. Today's sponsor, Matthews Electric, full service electrical contractors in the Brazos Valley. No job too big, no job too small. Call Blaine at 979-220-6403. Light up your home, light up
Right
your
up your
life.
life.
Folks, don't forget to email us at agstailgate@gmail.com. Get on the YouTube and subscribe. Please leave us some commentary. Speaking of some commentary, Pete O'Neill commented that yeah, he too was frustrated after the Texas game. I think like most Aggies were, but he does see the Aggies making a nice run, and he trusts Elko. I think we all agree with that. Don't you?
Huh.
Don't you agree with that, Corey?
Uh, I don't know, man. I'm optimistic that the Aggies will win. It's just I haven't seen it lately. I haven't liked what I saw lately.
I want to remind you though, as you say that when the season started, you were kind of like on the fence, so on and so forth.
I
Somebody
was.
else on this podcast said 11-1. Do you recall who that was?
No, you said 12-0.
Okay, so it was me.
You said 12-0.
So now once we've gotten here now to the postseason, and I'm telling you, there's going to be a run. We're going to go win a game. We're going to go probably win a couple of games, at least maybe a championship. I'm still not quite ready to declare that.
Yeah,
And you're saying no, who knows? We may lose this weekend. Who should we believe in, right? I mean,
yeah. Clearly,
clear.
clearly. Notre Dame over here
uh,
picking. You can see his other picks.
Yeah, true that. Uh, so today we'll go through a couple of news and notes, and obviously the show today is going to focus on Miami and Texas A&M in the college football playoffs. So first of all, Corey, want to start with some news here. Aggie volleyball advances to Final Four with a win over number one overall and undefeated Nebraska at Nebraska. A five-set barn burner, man. They're going to face Pitt next on Thursday, who I believe is 30-4. Chance to go to the finals against the winner between Wisconsin and Kentucky. Mike Elko gave a big shout out to the volleyball team. One of the things I love about Elko, man, is his involvement in that athletic department altogether, man, and the praise that he gives to the other teams and the other sports. Corey, any thoughts on Aggie volleyball?
I think it's huge. I think I'm very impressed. I mean, I didn't know that Nebraska was that dominant at volleyball, or it has been.
Yeah,
And I knew our volleyball team was decent. I've heard stories, but man, that's huge.
huge, huge. And it's one of those things that the same kind of situation and coach talks about it and like, you know, this Aggie athletics should be successful in everything they do, right? And they've got resources, they've got a great recruiting base, they've got all those things, they've invested in coaches, man. I think that this is a great example of that. You go look at the rest of the programs, men's basketball. We can talk about as soon as football is over a little bit more. But another good win this past weekend over a well overmatched Jacksonville State team or something, right?
Yeah.
But but I think they're getting better and better as you go watch them. We'll see. We'll find out pretty soon.
Well, they blew that SMU game.
They blew. Look, that's a game and a game that they had in hand, and it's, like I said, it's part of the growing process. I think with a new coach, new team, new players, and all that stuff. But hopefully, that game and that lesson serves them well going forward in order to close out games in the SEC. Um, but back to volleyball, the only program that I can think of right now that hasn't really stepped it up is the women's basketball program, who needs a new head coach, hopefully at some point.
Mm.
But other than that, it seems like the rest of those guys are moving in the right direction. Maybe men's baseball has taken a dip a little bit here last year. We'll see what they can do here in year two of your boys' run. But congratulations to Aggie volleyball. Exciting stuff, man. I'll be paying attention on Thursday, obviously, as they go play in the Final Four. Some more news. DC and linebacker coach Bateman takes a job at Kentucky as the defensive coordinator under the new coach Will Stein. He's the former OC at Oregon, so it's gonna give Bateman the ability to go call plays, take over the defense himself, instead of being, under Elko and under Elko's wing here at A&M. Don't blame him for taking the job. And honestly, I don't think it really hurts us any. What are your thoughts on that?
No, not at all. I really didn't know much about the guy, to be honest with you. I thought it was Elko's defense the whole time. It's like,
Yeah.
you know,
He uh he obviously I think the bigger thing was the linebacker coach piece of it, losing a linebacker coach. He will stay on through the playoffs to coach the Aggies in the playoffs in that sense. But Elko moved pretty quickly to promote Lyle Hemphill to defensive coordinator. He was the associate head coach for defense previously here at A&M. Prior to that, he was the defense coordinator at James Madison. Did a really good job with James Madison. He worked with Elko at Duke and Hofstra previously, so he knows the Elko system. I think he's actually a much better fit than Bateman, to be honest with you. I think he's going to add to this as a potential play caller, even. I wouldn't be surprised if Elko allows him to actually start calling some plays, and maybe not in his first year next year, but in maybe in his second year. Because I think, like I said, I think it's a much better fit. I think he's got a good feel for things. I think he did a great job calling plays out at James Madison. And so I'm okay with this. And by the way, they've already replaced the linebackers coach. They've hired Travis Williams, former Arkansas defense coordinator. And we know that the Arkansas defense this past year wasn't very good. But clearly, he did a good job as a linebacker coach at one point in his career since he elevated up to defensive coordinator. So you would think that that could be a good fit in there, right?
yeah. I mean, I don't have a whole lot to say on those. I mean, I don't think those moves don't excite me, don't bring me down. Just kind of,
I'll tell you
whatever.
what, man. I do like the Lyle Hemphill. I like the hire when they did it at the beginning of the season, prior to this season. I thought he
Yeah.
was a great addition to the defensive staff. I think that has come through some this year. I think his involvement is going to just increase, and I believe that it's going to help us even going into next year. So I am kind of excited about that. But even bigger news, because obviously we know defensively Elko has his hands on
Right.
everything. Even bigger news, Elko announced the offensive coordinator hire, and he's going with Hallman Wiggins, the current wide receivers coach, and a guy that has done a phenomenal job for this team, bringing in talent, developing that talent. I mean, we can talk about the transfers, but look at some of the young guys that have started to progress as the season has gone on. With Bethel Roman, with Williams, so Isaiah Williams, guys that have started to show some progress. Really excited about this. We really don't know exactly where he comes in as a play caller, right? We've never seen it. He's never done it before. But I can imagine, because of the way that the players reacted to the news, the wide receivers reacted to the news, that he's definitely got, I would imagine he's got some good ideas as far as creating some things in the passing game for those guys and doing some things there. So exciting. Don't, they're still going to run the football. They're still going to do the things that they've been doing, formation wise, and the different sort of packages as they've shown. I don't expect it to be a complete overhaul, but the new coordinator, there's going to be some tweaks there, man. So I'm kind of excited about that. Any thoughts on that one?
No, I mean, I like to hire myself. I'm sure he's going to talk KC into coming back where he can be a first top 10 pick next year. So, I mean, yeah, we should be good. KC's coming back. So everything should be golden.
Yeah, I don't know that you're going to get that wish on KC. They did ask him the other day in the press conference, and he said, "Look, I haven't really made a decision on that yet. We're going to get through the season, and then we'll talk to my family and we'll talk to the coaches. Look at that. Propel, one of the sponsors here.
Yeah, one of the sponsors, they're going to sponsor KC. KC's putting the money here, man. He ain't got to go nowhere.
um,
He made the
but
All-American team. Hey, do you know he made the All-American team?
he made All American team. I announced it in last week's podcast that unfortunately you were unable to attend. But
Well, you know what he got though? He didn't get it as a receiver. He got it as
he
an
did
all-purpose.
all
Huh?
purpose. He
All-purpose.
all purpose. But he also got first team All SEC as a wide receiver, as an all purpose back, and as a return specialist. How about that? Pretty impressive.
Oh, that's impressive. That
Yeah.
isn't who. Hey, you know what I didn't understand? You see who made second team
Second team All SEC.
All-American?
Who? Oh, yes. You mean our right tackle,
No, our
Crownover?
right guard. I thought it was our guard,
Oh no, yeah,
Adams.
right guard, Amaz Reed Adams. Yes.
Yeah, I thought it was Adams. I was like, what?
A
No
guy
offense.
who throughout the season, this is why these awards, I've told people this before on this podcast. I've told you these awards, especially the national AP awards, whatever, mean
They watched the
nothing.
games.
Mean
They didn't watch
nothing.
the games.
No, no. Armand
I mean,
Reed
no
Adams
offense.
split.
Adams is good. I like
Yeah,
Adams. He's good. He's
like him.
fine.
Great.
But
But
you got
he's
Zoom, DeSantis. I mean, shit. Come
Trey
on.
Trey Zune had the best grade out of anybody according to PFF as a pass blocker in the country. In the country. Besantis is our best guard. Armand Reed Adams, as good as he split time at guard with Naboo as well, right? Like, when Trey
Okay.
came in at center, yeah.
No, I mean, I just don't get it. I mean, I think he's a fine player. I just don't think he's second
For
team All
them, it's
American.
no, for that award is all name recognition, man. They don't even I don't they don't even watch the damn games. It's kind of pathetic. But
Yeah. I'm
hey,
just
I'm
like,
happy for him though.
why not
Great.
DeSantis? Huh?
I'm happy for him.
They
Good
should
good
have put
for
DeSantis on there.
maybe it'll get Besantis to come back, because he wants to go win him some awards, and Armand Reed Adams can piece it out and go get drafted also, which would be good for the Aggies and building reputation. So, you know,
Sure.
uh, good for him, man. But
Yeah.
I agree with you, man. Good call on that one.
God, I couldn't believe it.
Incredible, incredible.
It's like, who's voting on this?
Which also goes to show you, and if you go look at those, those awards, like they, they love players from, the big name schools, so on and so forth, right? They favor those guys anyway. Um, on the coaching, last thing on the coaching side of things, it looks like they're looking at Brad Cornelson as the quarterback coach in order to replace Colin Klein. He
Yeah.
apparently worked with Wiggins at Virginia Tech and Memphis. He was a former OC at Virginia Tech, so on and so forth. The one thing that I did love to hear from Elko during his press conference this week, yesterday, was the fact that he announced the Wiggins hire, one, but two, he let us know, like, look, I interviewed 5 current sitting offensive coordinators, and Hallman is the only person I offered this position to. He accepted, and we were done. We didn't offer it
Mm.
to anybody else. None of those other guys, like, nobody turned us. Like, look, that tells me a lot, man. It tells me a lot that he did his due diligence. Number one, he spoke to some people that he wanted to obviously speak to, because I can imagine, there's a long list of guys that would take this job, right? Long list.
Yeah.
And he spoke to a bunch of those guys, and he thought Hallman was better. That good enough for me, right?
That sounds great. I'd like to know who that list was. I think it was like Sark was on there as an OC. Can't remember who the rest of them were. I mean, Kiffin
Lincoln,
might have been
Lincoln
on there.
Riley, was it Lincoln Riley?
Lincoln Riley, Lane Kiffin. He had a bunch of names on there. They talked to him. He didn't offer him the job. He just said, "Sorry, guys.
Sorry, guys, you ain't good. You guys ain't good enough.
Nah, y'all.
Uh, uh,
They
I,
wanted it."
Yeah, no, I heard Lane Kiffin wants to get back to calling plays again because over there he's got an offensive coordinator taking all the credit or whatever. Hey Corey, let's get into this Miami matchup. So obviously
Good.
A&M comes in at 11-1. That we offense 36.3 points per game, just going through some numbers, 14th in the country, 261 passing, 193 rushing, 1.3 turnovers per game, 7.5 penalties as a team. That's not good. Uh Defensively, 21.9 points per game, 41st in the country, 183 passing, 127 on the ground, highly influenced by that Texas game, only forcing zero point 0.8 turnovers per game. So,
Not good.
we're losing that turnover battle as overall. And then Miami, by the way, for everybody to know, 11 a.m. kickoff. Everybody's talked about it. This matchup should be a night game, whatever. Listen, man. Let's go show out and show up at freaking Kyle Field, 12th man. Absolutely kill it at 11 a.m. and let's make a difference. It doesn't matter what, like Elko said, doesn't matter what time we play or who we're playing, man. Put the ball on the field. Let's go knock some shoulder pads and helmets together, right? Like that's what it's about, baby. So
You
forget
know
about
that's
it.
not going to be a problem with people showing up 11 a.m. They don't give a shit. They'll be
No,
there.
they'll be there, man.
Be sold out.
I expect this to be the craziest Aggie atmosphere I've ever seen, to be
I
honest.
mean, I heard tickets were cheap.
I don't think there's a ticket for under $400.
That's what I was hearing about four to
Yeah.
500 is what everybody's telling me.
Yeah. A&M opened up, I think, what'd you say earlier? 4.5 point favorite or something?
Four is what I saw. I thought
Four.
four
Well, the line's down
down
to
to two.
three, over under at 51.5. But Miami comes in 10-2, Corey. Losses to
Right.
Louisville at home, SMU on the road. Obviously, they beat Notre Dame in week one at home. They got a nice win over Florida, 26-7. Florida was kind of coming apart by that time, I think. Their final game had a good game against Pitt in the 38-7 win there. They scored 34 points a game, about 20th nationally, and they give up 13.8. That's sixth in the country. That defense is the real deal. Nobody's scored 30 points on this team, right? Nobody has scored 30 points on this team. They pass for about 276 a game, rush for about 150, only one turnover per game. They're also penalty prone at about 7.6. Defense allows about 190 in the air, but only 87 yards rushing per game on the ground. 2.9 per carry. I mean, they are stout up front, and they do get some turnovers at 1.7 a game, so they win the turnover battle. All right, so let's start looking at the matchup with their offense up against the Aggie defense. Miami offense, Aggie defense. Obviously, Corey, an offense led by Carson Beck, a guy that we know in the SEC, several years over at Georgia, felt like he was overhyped and underdelivered for a couple of years. He goes out to Miami. Everybody expects him to kind of be Cam Ward's follow-up and go try to win a Heisman. Doesn't have that kind of year as it comes to fruition, where people thought maybe first round pick, all this stuff, like number one overall. He's like a mid round draft pick projection coming out now, and if you give him time and space in that pocket, he can get you, right? He can get you. He can make those throws. But if you speed him up a little bit, man, the guy has some issues with pressure and he's not afraid to throw an interception.
I'm gonna say he's turnover prone, man. The guy, he's not the most mobile quarterback. I mean, he can move a little bit, but you get him moving those feet, that ball's gonna come out. And no telling where it's going to go. He's got a good arm. He's got a strong arm. But he wants to be a pocket passer. If you get him moving that pocket, he can do
But
some
that's
damage.
and that's a great point, Corey, because it seems like when he does get the it's not only the fact that he makes bad decisions, man, but the throws end up being bad. He'll miss targets altogether.
Yeah, it's not good. What's
But he
Yeah, and
did
they
throw for 3,000 yards, and he does have 25 touchdowns. I mean, he's not. He's a
against
he's seen it. You
against
know.
the ACC, man, against the ACC.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I mean, they're lucky to be in the playoffs, right?
I would say so. I would say so. But
Hey,
merit
they're a good
wise, I
team. I'm not
mean,
trying to take anything away. They're a good team. I think they're one of the top 12 teams in the nation, by the way. I do think that.
yeah. Yeah, and look, I went back and I've been watching some Miami, and offensively, they basically are going to try a lot of quick passing game type stuff. The run game is there, but it's really more of a keep you honest kind of thing, right? Their lead tailback, Fletcher, he's number 4. He's kind of a more physical type back, but he's not one of those just you type running backs, right? He's not going to be one of these cats that just makes these incredible plays, but he'll get downhill, he'll be physical, and he'll get you your 4 and 5 every time. Um, but their bread and butter, that passing game, that offense is based off of the short passing game, the screens, the quick outs, the little quick hitches, a lot of screens, right? They love to get Malachi Tony, that super impressive freshman, involved
He
in the
is good.
game.
He's good. He's quick. He
And
reminds me of like a young KC.
yeah,
I mean, he's just,
ex except he can throw the football too. They love to
oh,
use him
that's
in
true.
the double pass area too.
Mm.
They'll put him in that quarterback and put him in the wildcat and let him go. Um, yeah, man. I mean, but that's where this offense is, a lot of crossing routes and things of that nature too, but a quick underneath passing game, man, and that's their bread and butter.
Yeah, I mean, you're not worried about the running game. I am because I'm worried about everybody running the ball against us, especially after that Texas game.
Mm.
I don't know what it is, what we've been doing wrong. If guys are playing out of position, but man, it's noticeable.
Yeah.
They're big
Yeah,
plays. That big
I'll
plays.
give you that. I'll give you that. But I'm actually going to go the other way with it. I actually think the Texas game and what happened in that Texas game gives me a little bit more confidence that we're going to be more prepared in the running game for this matchup. That and I don't look, Carson Beck ain't going to beat you with his legs, man. He's
No,
not going to do what Manning did with his legs and create those kinds of plays, right?
right.
Um, but I do also think that Elko is going to make some adjustments. I think that they're going to, especially on early downs, right, first, second downs, to help in the run game. I think they're going to play with an extra a safety in the box at times on those early downs, have them in there to take some of those things away. Um, so I'm not going to tell you that I'm not worried about the running game because I said it all year. It's what's killed this defense all year long. But against this team, I'm less concerned about the running game, and I'm more concerned about what they do about stopping some of those quick screens, quick hitches, because Makatoni is a game breaker, you know, and they're going to do everything they can to get him the ball quickly. And that defense, the guys that we know, those linebackers, those safeties, Chappelle, Brooks, Ratcliffe, man, they're going to have their hands full trying to get that guy on the ground and tackling, right? Your corners, you know? And so that's what I'm concerned about. But, I don't know, maybe you're right. What do you think?
Man, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not that concerned about their passing game. I'm more concerned about them running the ball and then doing something crazy. I haven't watched a whole lot of Miami this year. What I did watch was that Malachi Tony guy was electric. Um, Carson Beck. Every time I watched him, he was. I think it was the Louisville and SMU games. He was throwing multiple picks. Uh, and I think if you rattle Carson a little bit, man, this whole offense just goes to shit. To be honest, that's my opinion. If we do what we're capable of doing and pressure them,
Yeah.
because they're going to want to pass the ball, they don't want to run the ball.
Yes, they want to throw the football. That is 100% correct. And here's the other thing. That offensive line is massive. I'm talking freaking massive. They're big, they're powerful, and they're very experienced. I think I mean, either seniors or redshirt juniors across the freaking board. You know what I'm saying? And
Oh
so
yeah,
and so those dudes are huge. They will manhandle if they get their hands on you. If all you do is you're going to try to go head up with them like we do sometimes, and just kind of they will stop you and they're going to manhandle you, man. And so the to me the other thing that comes into play here. Look, we talked about them getting into that quick passing game and all that stuff, but the other thing, if you can have success on first and second down, control the run game, not allow them to exploit some of those screens and different things on third downs or on passing downs, you have, and this is where Elko does, like to play some games. It could help. I think this, you normally hear me not always talking about this stuff, but this is where some movement inside, maybe twisting the defensive tackles and things, maybe getting some guys that got a little bit more speed in there, a little bit quicker, maybe doing some looping around with Cashius and some different guys, but some movement because I think that's where this offensive line struggles more. Like if you just line up in front of me and I can get my hands on you, they can maul you a little bit. But
really.
I think if you come out and you start doing a little bit, some using those in like those linebackers on some blitzes, maybe coming around the corner, and also, some pressure from Chappelle or the safety, kind of unexpected places. I think that's where you can really beat this offensive line and get some pressure on Beck.
Yeah, I agree. You talking about like stunts? You talking about like doing some little stunts here and there, and
Yeah,
are you talking about blitz packages and whatnot? Because
yeah.
like I said, I haven't watched them a whole lot, but if we throw our blitz packages in there, I mean, are you talking about bringing the safety like Brooks off the edge or what?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Using Brooks and Ratcliffe, bring him down into the box kind of late a little bit and let him come off the edge, or just, lining up Chappelle out there and then bringing him down there. And then ultimately, I do think with those big, 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 big offensive tackles, and they got two guys that are massive. The right tackle is going to be supposedly a first round pick, right? And those guys are both massive. Let Hal just rush. Look, but not a power rush, man. Let's get him on a speed rush out there and see how they handle SEC defensive at speed coming off the edge, right?
Yeah, I hear you. So what do you think about our cornerbacks matching up with those wide receivers? Do you like that matchup or no?
That's a I think look, we talked about Tony, right? I mean, he's a hard matchup
Yeah.
for anybody, right? He's gonna be I think so.
Who's that? Lee?
Man, maybe it's Chappelle. Uh maybe it's
Really?
Chappelle.
Because
Um
Tony's not
but
that big. I mean, he's
Yeah.
5'11".
No, he's a smaller guy. But the other thing is, I think you maybe, honestly, maybe Shaw gets some action in there as well, at the nickel to try to
You know,
get a good matchup with him.
well, they also
Um,
have CJ Daniels, who I thought would be more of a baller this year. I haven't heard as much about him. I thought he was going to be a bigger name player.
yeah, I mean, he's one of their starters, but he's been kind of their third guy. He's more that he reminds me a little bit of not quite as big though. Kind of a Noah Thomas, right? He's kind of one of those guys that I don't know. He's bigger, but he's not that physical, right? And so it's not quite you don't quite get that exceptional matchup that you would think out of a guy that's 6'3" or so, right?
Mm-hmm.
That just creates problems for the secondary because he doesn't have that same physicality. But see, hey, Daniels has had a good year. Daniels has had a good year. Not a great year, but the other one is zero. Keelan Marion, and
Mm-hmm.
he's done a really good job for him. And he's another guy that's explosive, by the way, quick, and can make plays. The thing you don't see them do, I mean, they don't do a ton of down vertical stuff, right?
Right.
They from time to time they'll do maybe a little double move or something like that to try to get somebody over the top or things like that. But yeah, this offense revolves around the passing game and Malachi Tony, and the other guys are kind of just the support system.
What about the tight end? Anything with them?
Yeah, they got two guys that they play. One is like 87, and then the other one is number 9, Lofton. And Lofton's more their pass catching guy that they get him in some different packages and things like that. And then the other guy's their blocking guy that they basically never throw the ball to, right? And so you'll see both of them, but in early downs, you're probably seeing the other guy. And then as you get into third downs, you'll see number 9 get in there, and he's a guy that can do some, is a good receiver, right? He's a good player.
Man, you're making me nervous the way you're talking about this Miami offense. Like there's something to be
I
reckoned with. Like the
well,
offensive line's really big and good.
I
The
actually
quarterback with
think
the
I
arm and wide receivers are good.
I actually think we match up well against this Miami offense, and
I
not to
think we
give
have a
away
lot of
not
speed. I think we have speed on our side.
yeah, not to give away the secret here at the end here, but I would probably take the under in this game, right? To a certain extent. I think that this could be a defensive struggle.
Really?
Um, yeah, and so you
Hold
know,
on a second. Hold on. You told me that the Aggies are going to score and score against anybody.
all right, let's move on to
You
this
told me that.
offense.
Dude.
Let's
You
talk
told me that
about
this year. You said the one thing the Aggies can do is score and score against anybody. Didn't you tell me
all
that
right.
this year?
I did. And so let's move on to this
And now you're
offense.
saying what? Take the what?
Take the under because I don't think Miami's going to score that much.
Oh, so you're saying the Aggies? I mean, it might be like 41 to nothing.
I didn't say that.
Go, go ahead.
Let's talk about this offense matched up against this Miami defense because I'm going to tell you right now, this Miami defense, and once again, I've gone back and I've watched the man, and dude, they are stacked. They are stacked, and especially up front, my friend. Up front, that front four is big, it's strong. You know, they've got number 3. Everybody talks Ruben Bain, number 4, right? And he's supposedly going to be a top 10 pick or whatever. That guy they love. Everybody loves the guy. He's 6'3", 270 as a defensive end. The guy's a monster for sure. No questions asked. But the guy who leads this team in tackles for loss and in sacks is the other defensive end, number 3, Akeem Mesidor. And that dude is a lot more disruptive at times than Bain, but Bain does it a lot in the run game. You see what I'm saying? But they're so powerful on those defensive ends. Both of them are big because Mesidor is 265. The two guys on the interior are 300 plus. You know, you that nobody's been able to get movement inside on them. So the linebackers, that linebacker play, which is probably their weakest unit, is the linebackers. They're smaller, kind of sideline to sideline guys. They don't even worry about the run hardly, right? They focus on the passing game. They're going to cover the running backs. They're going to cover the tight ends. They're playing their zone, whatever. That defensive line takes care of the run. Period. Period, period, period. And so as you look at this matchup, and look, I love our offensive line. I've been giving them as much praise as anybody else in the world. That offensive line has been great all year. Offensive line coach has done a good job, so on and so forth. The players, yada yada. Let me tell you, and this to me is the key for this game. Here is your key. Aggies are going to have to come out and sling it. I'm telling you,
That's not a problem with the Aggies. That is not a problem with the Aggies.
the Aggies are going to have to go. It is time to go get Mario back involved. Let's get him back involved because his role has been down a little bit the last few weeks. Let's go get some big plays from Mario. Let's get Casey out in open space. Let's use Ashton Bethel Roman and get him the ball. Let's throw it over there to Bussy and let him go do what he does. Isaiah Williams. Let's open this baby up. But not just that. Not just that. Not just the receivers, man. I think a big weapon in this, especially in the red zone, is the passing game to the running backs. Jamarian Morrow out there, maybe Ruben Owens out there, and then some use of the tight ends as well. But more the running backs out in some of those things. That to me is, I mean, that's how you got to attack them. And then once you got them reeling, you maybe wear out that defensive line because they're big, boy. They're big. Make them run a little bit, you know? Have them running sideline to sideline, have them run them down the field. And then in the third and fourth quarter, then say, hey, here's our running game. And go finish the game with the running game. But I think this offensive strategy needs to be aggressive, and they need to get the ball out, and they need to let those players and those playmakers go make plays.
I hear you. I like what you're saying, but I think Marcel's feet are going to be a huge weapon in this game. I think
Ooh,
those. I think his feet. I think he's going to be able to run all over the place against this defense. I mean, I'm just saying that's me. Those guys are
I'll tell
big.
you this. I
Marcel's quick.
actually don't know, man. They don't create a lot of lanes inside because
Oh,
of the
dude,
fact that they're
yeah,
so
they'll
big,
be.
man, and they don't allow
He'll
a lot
get.
of movement.
He'll get around them. He'll get. He's that guy's slick, dude. I'm telling you, it'll be just like me
Not to
playing the
mention the
old
speed of
school.
those linebackers. They got a couple of linebackers that can run a little bit. They're smaller,
They'll be
kind of
chasing our running backs down the field, trying to cover
maybe,
them.
maybe. I would imagine that they've got one of those linebackers spying Marcel all day.
You don't have to.
Um,
Good luck.
but this defense is this Miami team. This is the D is the reason these guys are 10-2, right?
How'd
We
they lose to SMU and Louisville?
Good point. You know what happened? And those are the teams that had success
Throwing the ball.
throwing the football against them. The kid from SMU, Jennings, had 365 yards in that game. Louisville threw it for 248, right? Hell, Florida State that scored some points on them threw it for 272. CJ Carr and Notre Dame, when they went in there week one, it was in the second half and they started throwing the football that they ended up doing some damage, right? I think that's how you have to attack this team, especially with the Aggies and the weapons that they have. The corners and DBs for Miami are bigger, right? 6'2", 6'2", 6'1", and these guys are a little bit bigger. We got to that's why I think Mario, man, let them try to go cover Mario. Let them try to cover Mario on a little double move down the field. Boom, boom, and gone. See ya. Wouldn't want to
We gonna have
be,
time for a double move, or those guys gonna get after it?
you know, absolutely. They're gonna, they like to bring some pressure. They like to bring some guys off the edge also. Uh, Really, their disruption, especially in the passing game, a lot of it comes from their interior guys. They like to do some twists on that stuff and do some things with their interior guys. And so in the as their passing defense, when it's a passing down, they'll do a lot of that stuff. And the disruption a lot of times comes from those interior guys. Um, so yeah, I mean, you got to obviously your offensive line is going to have to hold up, but I think that's the strength of our offensive line too. I also believe that the pass blocking is that strength, and maybe you have to keep a tight end in. This is a Nate Burkitcher situation. You keep him in, help a little bit to buy yourself a little time, keep a back in to help buy yourself a little more time. And maybe it's a play action situation with a double move. Um, but what did I say? It is our offense that's won games for us, right? We've talked about this. I don't think that changes on Saturday, man. I don't think that changes on Saturday.
So what are you saying? What's the score?
Ooh. Score. Score. I'm thinking somewhere in the like 28-31 again to on for the Aggies, and somewhere in the 17-21 for the Hurricanes.
All right,
That's
I hear you.
that's
I
where
mean,
that's where my head's at right now.
and, yeah, my head's spinning. I am nervous about this game. I think Miami's very talented, very talented. I could see the Aggies winning this one like 28, 28-24.
Look, I think you can get some big plays on that secondary. I really do. I think you can get some big plays on.
You're talking about the Aggie secondary? Yeah,
No,
I
on the
agree.
Miami
I think you can. The Aggie secondary definitely give up big plays. We've seen it.
on the Miami secondary. I think
Oh,
you can do
gotcha.
that. And I think if you're good, I think you're going to need to because once you get into the red zone, they're even tougher. I think they're even tougher in the red zone, right? Because of
We got
that
a great
defensive
kicking
front.
game. We should be fine. We got a great kicking game.
That's scary.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's a bit scary. But like I said, that's why you have to, and man, that means in the red zone you have to be even more creative, right? Because they're so tough in the red zone. They're going to let their front four sit there, play the front. They're going to put so many people in such a small space to cover and do those things that it's hard to get in there. But, and this is the big but, this is why I think the area there, when you're in that area, it's the use of those tailbacks, man. Maybe you go and you come out in the red zone, you've got the two back sets, you do some funky stuff, you try to get some of those guys open in the flats and coming out of the backfield because I think that's where you have an advantage in those areas. Let's see what these guys scheme up. Colin Klein, Solomon Wiggins, and those guys scheme up as far as some red zone opportunities. Maybe a couple of like lose the tight end kind of situations, try to find something in there for a tight end to kind of disappear with some misdirection and different things. You're gonna have to look for things like that to try to build good opportunities for Marcel to make a play in the red zone. Or the hell with it, just score on big long plays, and then you don't have to worry about it.
Hey, what's the deal with Moss?
Uh, you know, Elko's playing it coy right now, man. He's like, it's day to day, so on and so forth. So we don't know. I'll be honest with you, it doesn't really sound like he's gonna play, but he may just be trying to hide the fact that he's gonna play.
Okay.
You know?
The way
Um,
you're talking, it doesn't matter if he plays because we can't run the ball against him anyway.
Actually, I think that's the where where he would come into play is like I said, if you can get a lead into the third quarter, man, and then have Moss in there to close out the fourth, man. That would be perfect. That would be perfect to me. That's how you. I think that's what you have to do to it. You've got to wear that defensive front out, man. They're so big and they're so powerful. You can't let them dominate all day. You got to keep them on the field. You got to keep them running. You got to keep them doing all those things, sideline to sideline, up and down the field, because they're good, and there's no question about that. They're really good. What do you think? What's your score prediction?
28-24. That's what I'm saying.
28-24?
Yeah, I'll take
Yeah.
Miami.
What did you just say?
What?
What did you just say?
I'm putting money on Miami.
You're gonna take Miami to win this game?
Hey, man, I win either way. If the Aggies win, I
Gosh
lose a little bit of
almighty.
money.
Listen, you're wrong. I'm right. Don't worry about it. But yeah,
I hope you're right. Hey, I hope you're right.
listen, I'm with you. Go put my money on Miami. That's a win-win situation for sure.
That's what I'm saying.
But
Putting the money on Miami.
it's good because you're gonna lose money, but we're gonna win a ball game. So I like
I mean,
that.
I think the home field's huge for us. I think the home field is huge. The one thing in
Yeah,
history that Miami has is they're not very disciplined. And I don't think they're a very disciplined team. And I think
I
that the
that's a great
penalties,
look. That's a great point, and I do believe. And
I
false
think penalties will be
starts.
big.
Yeah, false starts, bad,
Yep,
you put that they get into bad situations. That is not where they thrive, right? They thrive in the
exactly.
good third down situations and those types of things. That's where they thrive on offense, man. Third and
Exactly.
long, that's not where their bread is buttered. So, that's 12th man's gonna be big on that end. That's a great call, especially because of the fact that, you know, when you talk about the kicking game, they've definitely got the advantage.
Yeah, everybody does. It's awful. I can't believe it.
Um, all right, Corey, put you on the spot here.
Do it.
Defensively, who's your guy? Who's the guy that has to come out and is going to, not just has to, but let's is going to come out and just be a big, big factor on Saturday help this Aggie defense really take that step towards the next round.
I mean, Cassius has been that guy all year, but I mean, I think we're going to have to bring some pressure somewhere else because you said that offensive line is big. So I'm thinking Brooks. I mean, that guy is in the right place at the right time. I think he's on. Somebody's going to have to put pressure on this quarterback because he will turn the ball over. If we let him sit back there like a statue, we're screwed. So give me either Brooks or Cassius, one of those two.
You know, I'm gonna go a little bit off the path on this one. One, I think you got a healthy Scooby, by the way,
Yeah,
but I'm not gonna go with Scooby. I'm thinking Sanford. I'm thinking Sanford. And I think that for the same reasons that you just said, I think that they're gonna use him somewhat in some of those blitz packages. And they're gonna get him on some things where they're moving him a little bit around on some of those blitz packages, and I think he has the opportunity to come in and maybe create some pressure on Carson Beck because of it. So I kind of just a different guy here. Maybe it's Chappelle. I don't know, but I'm kind of more thinking, especially with Chappelle with that matchup against Tony, man. Ooh. Uh, but but I'm kind of thinking maybe a Sanford is one of these games that where he really excels, maybe some sideline to sideline, getting to those screens on the outside, running, but then on some pass stuff, man, use him as a blitzer and let him go create some havoc in the backfield. Um, yeah, I'm gonna go Sanford, a little surprise pick on that one.
hmm.
How about offensively, Corey? Who's that guy? Who's your stud?
It's got to be KC. It's got to be. Get him the ball. Just get him the ball. Be creative. You know,
Yeah.
make
Uh,
that defense run sideline to sideline. You know,
Look, I think Casey's going to get his. I do. I think Casey's going to get his. I agree
is
with you.
Rio healthy?
I think it's Rio today. I think it's Rio on Saturday.
If he's healthy, I like him too.
I think Rio has a big game Saturday. And don't be surprised, and this is an if, because it depends if Moss is healthy or not, right? If Moss is healthy, don't be surprised if a guy like Jamarian Morrow gets into the mix. If Moss is not on the field, I mean.
Gotcha.
If Moss is on the field, you think he's gonna have to get, some play, right? But
Dude's got to be healthy though. He's got to be like really good to go. I'm talking. He hadn't
you
played since when?
you would hope so.
How long has it been since he played? It's been a while.
It's been a while. Was it Auburn that he got hurt? I can't remember.
I know it's been a while, but I mean, imagine if he's playing with us against South Carolina and Texas. That's totally different games.
Yeah, look, we talked about it all year long at the beginning of the season. Just a difference maker, and no offense to Ruben Owens, man, but
Oh, it's a lot of offense to Ruben. It is. He should be offended.
definitely no offense to Emmett
Run hard.
Smith. but
Yeah.
but those guys aren't Le'Veon Moss, you know what I mean?
No. No.
And so you're absolutely correct. I mean, if Moss is healthy, he's definitely going to be a part of this deal. But if he's not on the field, I wouldn't be surprised if Jamarian Morrow has an influence on this game somewhere. But I think the guy on Saturday, the guy that's going to create some explosive, big time monster plays, I think that's Rio. I think we need him to break out on Saturday to get this offense back onto where it was at one point in the season, as explosive as it was. We need those big plays, man. Marcel needs those big plays.
Is
And
game day gonna be here?
game day's going to be there on Saturday. Yes,
I have to get up
yes,
early. I have to be
yes.
out there. Might have to call in
Uh,
sick to work.
yeah, man. Forget work, man. Don't worry about
Yeah.
it. Hell with work,
Yeah.
man. Tell
Package is
UPS,
going out
tell
today.
UPS you'll be back on Monday.
Yeah, no package is going out today, guys. We're shutting that bitch down.
Forget Christmas delivery time, man.
Okay, we'll work Sunday.
Hey, last thing I want to say on this game, nah, maybe not on this game, but here before we move on, is I want to see a loose Marcel. I don't know what they got to do as the play callers or whatever. No, I do know. But they've got to early on let him get comfortable and get loose. A couple of quick throws out to Rio, a couple of quick throws out to KC, something maybe in a quick throw to a running back and just let him deliver a couple of throws and then maybe a shot down the field, but let the dude loosen up and get loose and have fun. Maybe a little trick play action so that he can put a smile on his face or whatever, right? But I think they got to do some stuff early. A play action pass early, they usually do. They usually have a pretty good success rate when they do some things like that early on, right? Um, to they got to get him loose and comfortable. What do you think on that?
Oh, I agree. I'll tell you what I believe in this game is our offensive line has been touted. I think they might be the best offensive line in the playoffs. That's my personal opinion. If they play like the best offensive line, like they're capable of doing, even how good this Miami defensive line is, I don't give a shit. We got probably 4 or 5 future pros on that offensive line. If they play like it,
Those guys got to come out and have their best game on Saturday, right?
they've got to dominate. I mean, that's the
Yeah.
way we're going through the playoffs is through that offensive line. I don't care. Marcel, he can hand the ball off, run around, throw the ball. We got to be disciplined. Penalties, they're going to kill us if we F that up. Turnovers, but offensive line is where we win and lose this game.
Yeah, no question, no question. Hey, let's look at these other playoff matchups real quick. Start with Oregon and James Madison, obviously looking to win a ball game for the opportunity to go face Texas Tech. Oregon's a 21-point favorite, 48.5 is the over-under. I mean, what are your thoughts on this game, Corey?
I mean, I'll be honest. I mean, we bet on James Madison this year because we thought they were a good team, but I think they're overmatched big time in this game. I mean, I can't think of a position they're not overmatched in.
Hmm.
They're going to have to pull out some trick plays or something to get some extra possessions. I'm talking fake punts, onside kicks somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Something just some kind of surprise, something that Oregon's not just to get the ball an extra possession because Oregon's good. They're talented. They're fast. They got speed. They're not,
On
I
both
mean,
sides of the ball, on both sides of the
Yeah.
ball. Yeah.
And James Madison, they're not going to win in the trenches.
Yeah.
I
So
mean, I'm
that's
afraid
that's a
this
and that's a great
game will
point.
get ugly early. You know what I'm saying? I think it might
Yeah.
get ugly early.
And I think normally when you see these matchups, right? I mean, just the fact that a team like James Madison usually can't hold up front against the either offensively or defensively against a team like Oregon, right? Just the
Right.
fronts aren't going to match up.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so that's going to be, to me, there's going to be the key because I think James Madison is a team that is well coached. Now their coaches are on their way out the door, so maybe that's not that big of a deal. But Oregon's losing both its coordinators, right? And so,
Let me, let me ask you a question. If Boise State played James Madison this year, how would Boise State do against James Madison? What do you think? Just if they played on a neutral field.
well, that's a good question,
Boise wasn't
Corey.
great. Boise wasn't great, but they solid team, won their conference.
Yeah,
We're saying if you put Boise and JMU on a field together,
yeah.
who, who would be favored? Do you think?
I'm going to say this. I would take James Madison in that game.
Okay, we'll put it this way: Boise just lost by 28 to Washington. To Washington.
Yeah, I don't think Boise's a great team this year.
I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, I think this Boise team this year would be pretty competitive against JMU. You see what I'm saying? I'm just talking about the difference in athletes. The
Yeah,
James Madison's had a good year, but I
yeah.
mean,
Look, and I agree
they
with
were
you.
FCS. They were FCS like what, a couple years ago.
I
They
agree
haven't
with you,
been.
man. They've done a great job over there. That's a
Yeah,
great
they've done a great
program.
job. It's just
Great program for what they are.
you're not playing Coastal Carolina or
Yeah.
App State. You know what I'm saying? You're not playing Texas State. I mean, these Old Dominion. these are some of these teams had good years. They're not
Look,
bad teams.
they'd have to have a perfect game plan to have it, to even keep this thing game close, right?
I mean, they
Because
lost to Louisville by 14.
yeah,
That's just at Louisville. I mean, Louisville's all
yeah.
right. They beat Miami.
No, yeah, yeah, you're right, 100%. And I agree with you. I think James Madison's overmatched. There's no chance that they're going to win this game.
Can
I
you keep it
wonder if
within
they can
21?
I wonder if they can keep it closer. And ultimately, I don't think that up front they have the players to do that, right? I just think Oregon's gonna offensively, they're gonna be able to run the ball when they want to, and then they're gonna do all the stuff on the outsides. And then defensively, Oregon's gonna dominate that offensive line, and it's gonna be hard for them to get anything going. Yeah, I'd take Oregon and give the 21 points.
Woo, son, it's a lot of points.
Yeah.
I mean, my biggest thing is Oregon doesn't have a reason to beat them by 21. I mean, I think if Oregon gets a good lead, 17, 20 point lead, they might just,
I'm not sure they need a reason.
that's what I'm saying. I think they might just coast. They might just coast.
How about Ole Miss Tulane? Another one of these games where obviously the matchup, favors Ole Miss highly. They've already beat them once this year. They're favored by 17 and a half, 56 and a half over under. They're looking for the right to go face Georgia in the next round. Look, if Lane were there, I think everybody would be like, "Oh yeah, Ole Miss is going to win this game by 20, whatever." But new coaching staff maybe creates a little bit of question. Any doubt in your mind here on this in this matchup?
No, I think this game they might prove a point. They might beat Tulane by double that. Might beat them by 34. Lane's instilled something in these players. They know he's going to go out and they're going to do some weird shit. That's just what they do. They ain't going
I
to do that.
wouldn't be surprised if exactly like you said, like they come out with a kind of a chip on their shoulder because of the fact that they're down a coach
Yeah,
and people are disrespecting them, and they maybe they come out and just, I mean, they cover the 17 and a half. I think they're going to win this game clearly.
yeah, I think they do because I watched Tulane play a couple times this year, and I wasn't. I'm not saying they're a bad team. They're a good, solid team, but once again, I think Tulane would beat James Madison
To be,
just because player for player. I think Tulane's got better players.
I almost wish that they would be playing. Maybe we'd actually get a good matchup here, but
Really
instead
wish
we
this
got
was South. I wish South Florida would have made it because that was a fun team to watch. They had talent.
Yeah,
South Florida, that
unfortunately they couldn't
quarterback for
win. They
South Florida.
couldn't win their own games, so I'm not rooting for South Florida to have made it. Hell, they lost 4 games or something.
Hey, they played a tough schedule.
Every time, every time everybody got excited about South Florida, they lost a game. Uh, they cover the 17 and a half.
I think so. I mean, we'll be teasing it, so don't worry about
Yeah,
that.
good call. But yeah, I think they cover the 17 and a half, dude. I think Ole Miss wins this game running away with it.
Yeah,
I think Chambliss has a pretty big game on this one.
yeah.
The other really good matchup here, Oklahoma, Bama, already happened this year also. They played at Bama once. Oklahoma won. Bama's a 1.5 point favorite in spite of that at Oklahoma now. They're looking, the winner goes to face Indiana. Over under 40 and a half. I'm gonna go under. Uh Yeah, this is a good matchup, man. This is an interesting game. There's a lot to be said. In the first matchup, Bama like doubles up Oklahoma in yardage, but Oklahoma's defense gets turnovers, and turnovers with big plays, and they win that ball game. Corey, what does Bama come back and win this one?
Yeah, Oklahoma just can't score. I just don't see that defense has just carried them. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that offense, I thought Mateer, they'd be better. It's just been ugly, man. It's been really
Yeah.
ugly. It's hard football to watching Oklahoma play offense. I mean, oh,
Yeah, they don't
I
have
got,
explosive plays, right? They don't create explosive plays, big plays that they haven't had a whole lot of production from their wide receiving group. I mean, they don't. The offensive line hasn't really done. It just it is. It's hard. It's been hard to watch offensively.
I mean, they can't
But
run the ball. They can't throw the ball.
But
If
I'm gonna
their
tell you what,
defense
that
doesn't,
defense, on the other hand, has been pretty darn impressive.
if that defense doesn't get them in like short fields and stuff like that, then uh, I mean, I would probably take Alabama. To be honest with you, I hate to say that, but I just trust Alabama's offense more than I do Oklahoma's offense. But I like Oklahoma's defense better than I like Alabama's defense. I mean,
You know what? I watched this Alabama offense against Georgia. I thought they absolutely got dominated in that game. I think Oklahoma's going to dominate that. Simpson's going to be absolutely horrible again against Oklahoma. I have a feeling Oklahoma's going to keep this game in the low numbers. Uh, I don't have any faith in that Alabama offense whatsoever. They can't run the football. They don't run the football. Um, and you get a one-dimensional offense against a Brent Venables defense, and you're asking for trouble, man. And they can get pressure on the freaking quarterback. They can get to you up front. Uh, man, I don't know if they pull it out. I don't know if because their offense has been so bad, Oklahoma's has, and Alabama's defense is good. But I expect them to have a chance to pull it out. And being at home, I think that only helps. I think that only helps.
you taking Oklahoma?
I I'm gonna tease it and then take Oklahoma.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be taking Alabama straight up on that one. That's just, I just don't, I don't know. Oklahoma offense just makes me nervous, man.
Hey, Alabama offense makes me nervous. I watched them play the first time around in Tuscaloosa.
Well, yeah, they like you said, they had 200 and some more yards than Oklahoma.
They also had like however many turnovers, right?
Yeah, I don't know if that'll happen again. I
It's
don't
a
know.
good question.
Is Kalen DeBoer going to be there? Or did he say he's going somewhere else already? Is he going to Michigan?
He said he's going nowhere. He has no interest in any other job. He may have to find an interest in another job because they might fire him.
They God, they must hate him there, man. I don't get it. Every job that comes open, it could be a job open at Vanderbilt tomorrow. Is Kalen DeBoer going to Vanderbilt?
You
Is
know,
he going to North
but
Texas?
I
He might
think
be going
it
to North
tells
Texas. North Texas just opened, didn't it?
I think it tells you something though that he is a good coach, right? Because every big time program that opens is trying to offer him the job, right? So at least there's
I just
that.
don't get it. I don't get it.
I here's what I will tell you.
Yeah.
He ain't going anywhere this offseason. But
What if they
if I,
get beat by 20 to Oklahoma in the playoffs?
it doesn't matter.
I mean, how bad did they lose to Georgia?
By like by like three or four scores, I don't know, by a lot.
There you go.
Uh I don't think it matters. He's not going anywhere. And maybe next year though, he might be going somewhere. And he may get tired of getting criticized and then go take the Texas job when Sark goes to the NFL or whatever.
Yeah.
Questions from the tailgate brought to you by Frida Homes, big building Aggie dreams, custom home builders with over 15 years of experience in the Brazos Valley. If you're looking for someone that cares about you and the details you care about, contact Frida Homes. Call Justin at 979-450-4466. When you call, just remember, everyone loves their Frida
They're
Home.
free to home.
All right, question number one. How far does this Texas A&M football team go in the playoffs, Corey? You're
You're not gonna
saying
like
one
my
and
answer.
done. You're saying one
Huh?
and done. Yeah, you already said one and done, huh?
Yeah, I'll tell you this. They'll only go as far as that offensive line takes them. If they can't get them out of this weekend, I mean, it's done. But I mean, I think they're the best offensive line in the nation. And we've bitched about our offensive line sucking for many years. It's the best one we've had in a long time. If we beat Miami, I think Miami's as good as any team out there. I think they're as good as Ohio State, to be honest with you. I think Ohio State's beatable. They just lost to Indiana. I think Indiana's beatable, to be honest with you. They haven't gotten beat, but I think they're beatable. So I mean, I think we can go all the way, but we got to cut back on stupid shit like penalties, turnovers. I mean, the turnovers. Marcel's got to be smarter with the ball.
Yeah.
Know the situation. Know you just got to be smart. That's it. We got the talent. We're not
Yeah.
out talented by any of these teams. There's no team has more talent than we do. No, I don't believe so. We have NFL players in the offensive line, running backs, wide receivers, D line, cornerbacks, linebackers, safeties. We have NFL talent everywhere. You tell me where we
So,
don't.
so
Kickers,
all that
kicking the
said,
special team,
all that
special.
said, you're still gonna yeah, your still special team sucks. So all that said, you're still saying one and done.
Yeah, I can't bet. I can't say that they're going to win because it's jinx.
Yeah.
I
No,
said they're going to beat the hell. I said they were going to beat the hell out of Texas, and what happened?
we're gonna put money on the other team for sure, but I'm gonna tell you what's going to happen. I'm gonna tell you what's going to happen. And this is how far of a run can they make? They can make this run all the way to a national championship, and I'm gonna tell you why. Exactly what you talked about, that offensive line. But the three factors, and here's the three things. You ready? One, you're you you gotta avoid the turnovers, man. You gotta avoid the turnovers. And
Yeah,
having one turnover, okay. He throws one pick, whatever, okay. You can't have those multiple turnover games. That's gonna kill you. That's absolutely gonna kill you. Two, two is you have to create the explosive plays, man. We got to get back to those explosive plays. And I think they're going to, by the way. I think they're going to. That's got to be a staple of what this offense does. We have been able to create those, especially early in the season, man. We were multiple big play offense, right? Doing some nice things with those, giving those wide receivers a chance and doing all those things. Not just, yeah, Mario, KC, but then we had some Bethel Johnson in there. We had some to Bussy in there. Like let's get to some matchups that we like and let's go deep because I think all these guys can make plays. And so the big play is going to have to be another one. And like you said it, you got to control those freaking penalties, man. You can't kill a drive on a freaking penalty. That is the worst thing you can do. You can't give them a first down on a freaking penalty. That's the worst thing you can do, right? Penalties are going to be huge. And I know everybody's going to look at me and say, well, they ain't done that shit all year. What's going to start? How are they going to start that now? It's like, well, let's go, Elko.
what about special teams? What about our kicking game? You worried about that?
Yeah, they suck, but I don't think that's going to change from here to the end of the season.
But that's what I'm worried about. You're asking me how far. I mean, that's something that we got to get better at. We got to be better at little
Yeah,
things. I mean, we have a good team. We have a great team. It's just little things need to be tweaked to win it all. And you got to
yeah.
get lucky. You got
I
to get
think
lucky.
you do have to have some, yeah, absolutely. You have to have some luck in there to it, but you have, and one of those kickers is going to have to make a field goal at some point that's important, right?
Yeah,
Which that may
yeah.
be beating the odds, but uh, it's going to happen at some point in this playoffs. One of those two kickers is going to have to make a kick that's big time. And we'll see if they do it or not. But I think I agree with you. I think this team has what it takes to make it, and now it's up to the coaching staff to make sure that they put them in position to do so. Let those guys come out and play a little bit loose and see what happens, man. I love the fact that we've got the opportunity to do it, and we started with an opportunity at Kyle Field in front of the 12th man to try to get some momentum back on the side of this A&M football team. Everybody went way off the freaking ledge after losing to Texas, and you know what, man? There's one team in this whole field that's got no losses. One team in this whole field that's got no losses, and that's Indiana. Everybody else lost the game throughout the season. Georgia lost the game in this season. Alabama lost a couple of games, three damn games, Ole Miss two. All these other teams have lost games. So yeah, we lost a game. We lost one game. We had one bad game on the road against a good team. Listen, don't make this out to be this team sucks because this team is talented, just like you talked about. They've got talent at every level, at every position, offensively, defensively. Let's go let them go out and play, right? Just go out and play. Question number two, after the game Saturday, what's going to be the biggest talking point? That's means you got to
After the
know what,
game,
yeah, after the game, what's going to be the biggest talking point?
if we
Well,
win,
you got to tell me, yeah, you got
if
to,
we win, they talk about how this offensive line dominated a great Miami defensive front. If we lose, you're talking about who's our next special teams coach?
Look, I don't think we're going to be talking about the next special teams coach, but I agree with you there. If when we win, they're going to be talking about this offensive line. But they're not only going to be talking about this offensive line, they're going to be talking about the playmakers on the outside. They're going to be talking about this passing game. They're going to be talking about this passing game because I think that that's where this team is going to make big plays. I think that's where we're going to win the matchups. That's going to be the talking point. And
Hmm.
all of a sudden, it's going to get back to, oh, Marcel is pretty good. Oh, Rio's the real deal. KC's a stud, right? KC's going to improve his draft stock. Another reason he's not coming back. Um, so
Coming back.
I certainly hope so, man. And I'll contribute some money to that if they want me to.
I got 10, $20.
Yeah, exactly. If this team were to lose, which is not going to happen, if this team were to lose, I think the talking point on next week is, all right, who's who's leaving? I think that's the talking point.
And number one's a special teams coach, the
Uh,
kicking coach. He's gone.
who's leaving? Which one of these players is leaving? Who do we have to replace? Who do we have to go find in the transfer
We already
portal?
know who we have to replace. We got to replace KC probably. Probably. Well, how many offensive linemen? Four.
Could be four, could be three.
Let's say four. Tight ends. We got to replace how many?
You're gonna have to
All of
replace a couple, two at least. Nyblock and Burkitcher for sure.
them. We got to replenish that defensive line again.
Yeah, I do think that this year in his second year and obviously this is not.
Cornerbacks. We got to replenish the cornerbacks.
Yeah, I think this year, by the way, this year we're in a much better place to replace a lot of these positions with young guys coming through the system because I think that we've done it. He's Mike Elko and his staff have done a great job of putting together the last couple of recruiting classes to really set yourself up to transition to the next guy. And I'm looking forward to that process because that's what I want to see, right? Does that mean that you're not going to go pick up one guy from the portal or a couple guys from the portal? No, I think you still do that and fill in at some spots, but I'm not too worried about the corners because I think we've got a bunch of good, young, athletic, super athletic corners that are sitting back there ready to play. I think we've got
I'm worried
some,
about D line.
yeah,
I'm worried about the trenches between the D line and the O line. I'm worried
I'm
about the trenches.
super excited about the three freshman defensive tackles, and you add that to
You just
Evans
said
and
the magic
Hicks.
word, freshman. Freshman.
Well, next year they're going to be sophomores, man. Next year they're going to be sophomores. You add that to Evans, who's going to be a junior. Hicks is going to be a senior, right? Those guys are still there, you would
You think
think.
Hicks will still be here?
I think Hicks will still be here.
I think his season's been kind of disappointing, to be honest with you.
Well, but give him another year. He was a five-star. They keep growing.
Well, he's gone down to like a 3 star. I'm just saying, he's been disappointment. I mean, he's not bad. He just I
He's been
expect a
one of
lot
your.
more.
He's basically. I mean, he's been basically one of your starters this year all year long, right? I mean, it's not like
Well,
you're
I just
talking.
expected more. Didn't you expect more?
I expected more. I expected him to take a step into that upper echelon of defensive tackles this year. He didn't
I'll tell
take
you who else
that
has
step.
let me down lately is Regis. I thought Regis was going to be more
Solid.
disruptive. Huh?
Yeah, I've always. I mean, my opinion of Regis has always been he's super solid. He's always kind of in the right place, and every
Yeah,
once
but
in
I
a while
thought
you
he'd
get
be
a
more disruptive, just a little bit more.
yeah.
I thought, I mean, I like that guy a lot. I like him a
I
lot.
like him. Still do.
I think he might have a future in the NFL. I think.
Honestly, Onyedin's been our best interior defensive lineman, right? I mean, I think he's been the best guy coming in as a transfer, and he's made it the biggest presence, kind of the biggest impact on the whole group,
Yeah.
right? As from the interior. But
Right.
I'm not gonna lie to you, those young guys and Rinks and Sims I mean, man, I've been impressed with those guys as a friend. Now they get a full off season. They're gonna get a full off season, and they're gonna come back next year. I'm super,
I
dude.
haven't seen enough of him. I haven't seen
I'm
enough of him.
super excited about those guys.
I don't want to see. I don't want to see a whole lot of them this Saturday either.
I do expect that they will go find another guy in the trenches, in the portal this year. But like I said, I'm not. I think this roster is pretty well constructed right now.
Dude, I'll tell you what, with all these coaching changes, there's gonna be a lot of good players in the portal. Lots. I mean, these big schools
Yeah.
bringing in different coaches. I mean, there's guys that they're gonna be flying out of there.
And this is where you gotta, but I think you gotta be careful, right? Don't go chasing a bunch of guys and all this stuff. Like
Yeah,
keep your guys in house, keep your guys in house and go find
yeah.
you the 4 or 5, whatever
10,
guys that
20,
you
whatever you need. Yeah, I got you.
need.
They'll
See money, where are you
give
watching the game?
at the hizzy.
At the hizzy. You're gonna have the TVs rolling. I'm gonna be I'm out in California for my parents'
You
60th
gotta be up early,
anniversary.
man. You'll be up early
9 a.m. kickoff out here, by the way. Uh, but I'm telling you, I'm gonna be on the beach watching the game, so that's not too bad.
on the beach. How they
On
have
the
TVs
beach.
on the beach?
Listen, my hotel is on Coronado Island, so
No idea.
it's an island. It's
Yeah.
right off the coast of San Diego.
You got power out there? Y'all good?
Yeah, 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 yeah. We're good.
You're roughing it. You're roughing it out
We're
there.
gonna be real rough in it. Yeah, 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 yeah.
I
I'm
hear
gonna
you.
have to. Man, I'm gonna be watching on my phone or something.
Yeah. Good service. Oh my God, you're gonna be roughing it, boy. All right, buddy.
All right, brother. We'll talk again next week.
Talk to you sooner than that.
Yeah,
Later.
gig 'em Mags.